we're going to go over 3 comma rules. So the first comma rule is compound sentences. And so if you think of when you compound something together, you are adding it together. So you get a nail and you compound it into a piece of wood, and so you are combining 2 pieces of wood together with that nail. So that is the same with sentences. You add 2 independent sentences together with a fanboy. So if you have a subject and a verb and you want to combine it with a second subject and verb independent clause, you need 2 things. You need a comma and you need a fanboy. And a fanboy is short for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Let me fix this for you. So, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Okay, so you ask yourself, does this have a subject and a verb? It does. The show started. Okay, so show is my subject, started is my verb, and then I have a second sentence. The crowd is my subject and grew is my verb. So I have 2 independent sentences that can live by themselves. And so I'm going to join them together with a fanboy. Traditionally, you would want to get married before you have a baby, traditionally. And so let's say this is our baby fanboy. Congratulations, you're having a baby fanboy. So the wedding ring goes before the baby. So that's just a little hint to help you determine where the comma would go. First, you would get the ring, and then you'd have a baby fanboy. Congratulations. The baby should traditionally not go after, the ring should traditionally not go after the fanboy. Okay, so you are going to practice placing commas in these 5 sentences. Our new bed is arriving next week, and I am looking forward to sleeping on something other than the floor. You have to ask yourself, is this an independent sentence that can live by itself? Is this an independent sentence that can live by itself? So you identify the fanboy and then you determine whether it needs a comma. If it is not an independent sentence, then it would not need a comma. So that takes us to our second rule. If you have 3 items in a series, then you need to separate the list with commas. If you only have 2 items in a series, then you would not separate the list. Okay, so you're going to have fanboys in these items in a series. So here it says, I look for my book. That's 1. On the desk. I looked for my book. Whoops. On the desk. Okay, there's my comma. Under the bed. And I could put a comma. That's an Oxford comma. And in the closet. And so I have 3 items in a series. And so I would separate them with commas. But if I have 2 items in a series, I love to sit at home. So you're doing 1 thing, and read my book, you're doing 2 things. So in this case, this is not an independent clause. This is 2 items in a series, and so therefore you do not need a comma. So there isn't any practice with this. The third rule is appositive nouns. You set off an appositive noun with a comma. An appositive noun is just a substitute for a name. Mrs. G, my English teacher. So these 2 things equal each other. You could take 1 out and you'd still have a sentence. Miss G is the coolest teacher in the school. Or you can take this out and say, my English teacher is the coolest teacher in the school. Miss G equals English teacher. And so if you are renaming the noun, then you would set it off with a comma. Sometimes the appositive noun begins the sentence. A hot-tempered tennis player, comma, Robbie charged the umpire because he was upset about the call. If it starts at the beginning, then you only need 1 comma. If it's in the middle and it interrupts the sentence, Robbie, a hot-tempered tennis player, charged the umpire because he was upset about the call, then you would need 2 commas. If the appositive noun ends the sentence, then you would only need 1. The crowd cheered Robbie, a hot-tempered tennis player who charged the umpire. So depending on where the appositive noun lands, depends on how many commas you will need. And so I'd like for you to finish these 5 practices, which will give you 10. Virginia, one of the original 13 colonies, was home to the first English settlement in North America. Where is the appositive noun and how should I set it off with commas? If you have any help, if you need any help or you have any questions, please feel free to email or call me. So let's go comma crazy, gladiators. Have a great day.